The Inquisition's courts represent one of the bloodiest chapters of Western history toward Muslims, and its excessive brutality extended to Christians as well later, not only to men but women and children, where this couple lied to get rid of Muslims by all available ways of torturings that never have been applied before. If you are interested to know the most 5 brutal punishments used by Spain Kingdom from 1418 to 1516, subscribe and continue watching. Before, the rules of Muslims continued for 100 years over Andalusia without interruptions. But with time, and due to the fact that Andalusia included many different elements in terms of gender, race, and religion, so it's become difficult for the state to tighten control over the country, and this latter coincided with the entry of Europe into a new historical phase. In 1474, Isabella ascended the throne of castles. The Pope Thomas Torquemada was insisting on her to do something to expel Muslims and Jews in the south. Isabella waited for the right moment to get married to King Fernando, the ruler of the throne of Aragon, who was more subtle. As a result, all purposes and kingdoms, castles, and Aragon limits had united to fight Muslims in the south, who were besieged in Granada. That time, the armies of Spain took out all Muslims from there directly to Inquisition's court. Most of the buildings of the Inquisition's court were characterized by engineering characteristics that are almost similar with some minor differences. In general, the shape of buildings is square or rectangular, consisting of 3 floors with a garden in the middle, and it consists of a number of halls designated for the integrations of the accused, and for the cells of those prisons, they were coated with grease to prevent the prisoner from even thinking of trying to climb their walls to escape, in addition to their humidity and narrow space. And here we will expose the most 5 brutal tortures applied on Muslims. The first, Catherine wheel. The victim here is tied in a curved manner on its circular edge, then pushed from a rocky mountain, and sometimes it is fixed to the ground horizontally, and the victim is tied to it. Then the executioner starts thumping and smashing his body using a huge iron hammer and clips. The second, iron coffin. It contains inside its long nails that are carefully placed so that it does not penetrate any vital part of body such as heart or lung. As a result, the Muslim does not die sooner and remains tormented inside as long as possible. The victim is cramped inside, then the door of the coffin is closed, knowing that the coffin is lined from inside with insulating cork wood. The third, iron bull. This bull was designed in ancient Greece, where a piece of solid copper was welded to the door on the side that could be opened and closed. Manual pain. The bull was designed so that the cries of the condemned sounded as if they were sound of bull itself. Fourth, heretic thorn. This torture device consisted of pieces of metal with 2 opposite poles in the directions. They were connected to a collar on the neck. One on the pole of the device was placed under the chin and the other was toward the chest. And here the victim was kept awake all the time because at the moment he fell asleep, either the fork would be stuck in his throat or it would be stuck in the chest. The fifth, the basin. This what is known as sitting on the basin. The convict was sitting squatting in the wash basin while keeping his face visible, and the executioner was smearing his face with milk and honey so that the flies would feed on him until the worms and insects finish off slowly throughout his life.